What's going on, everybody? Eric Lindquist at Stochastic here on the Odd Shopper channel, coming to you with a 9-game Wednesday edition of NBA Lindy's Leans, Likes, and Locks. Hit that like button, subscribe button, notification bell. Goes a long way for me on this video. Goes a long way for you. That way you become a prize whenever great content is going live here at our little neck of the YouTube. Well, it's got my folks in the other room. We got to eat some dinner, but it is, 9/11 over there on the East Coast, 7/11 Mountain Time, 6/11 Pacific Time. That means that we are still, 49 minutes away from Luka Doncic just going absolutely nutties against the Dallas Mavericks, which is so weird to say that he's going against the Dallas Mavericks. That's the first time that I've had to say that. Not the last either, because he'll be with the Lakers for like a decade. But anywho, hit that like button as we get going. I'm ready to rock. You're ready to roll. Producer Jacob, so far, all three unders looking good at halftime. Famous last words. I'm totally expecting 3 overtimes to somehow shaft me out of all 3 locks that I threw on the card for you, but no locks today. Again, that's the way the cookie crumbles. I usually am going around a half unit on the like plays. That's usually going to be around a unit on the lock plays. And we had 3 of those on unders of totals. I don't make the rules. Well, actually, I do. I 100% make the rules, but I don't do anything other than the math for you, which is trying to give you the best plays. I'm on a 9-game slate. I know there's going to be tons of prop exposure that shows up, whether that's from Portfolio EV, from Tails in my package, which you can sign up for down below using Lindy50, or any of your own plays. So don't want to go too nuts, but we do have 4 nice plays ready to rock. Producer Jacob's ready to roll. Let's get to the picks. Boston -4 to start things off here, taking on the Detroit Pistons, and Cade Cunningham continues to be an absolute GOAT, a wonderkin, if you will. But Boston, I'm really mad at, and then I'm actually okay with them here at the moment because we ended up getting a half unit in a live play. You got a live play from me here from Peyton Pritchard, 15-plus points. Talked about that as a lean. Didn't really love the opening number at 13.5, but there wasn't a ton of adjustment once Kristaps Porzingis was ruled out from the clouds. Now, it was an illness. I don't know what to make of that. Sometimes you see them just kind of finagle with the injury report. Boston's just doing that kind of stuff. I don't know why they think it's an advantage to them because they're good anyway. They don't really need to finagle an injury report ever, but they're just closing things out inside of 6 minutes here, going up against Toronto. They're up by 10. Just doing the Peyton Pritchard thing. So nice to cash that one in the third quarter. 15-plus points. That was a nice little half unit cash. But anyway, we got Detroit on the other side of this one. And this is a very short number. 4 for the Boston Celtics. That screams rest. Now, I think Drew Holiday comes back. I think you could see potentially Derek White, Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown. Everybody's kind of alive to be sitting here, but specifically Kristaps Porzingis. That number is reflecting the fact that he got ruled out with an illness. You've got to think 24 hours later, he's not exactly ready to rock here either. So I don't know what to make of it, but I do know that Peyton Pritchard 15-plus points is probably going to be -150 in this spot, and yet I don't care if you combine it with -150 on the Boston money line or Boston -4. So I'm going to make them both leans yet again. I don't know what to make of it because I want to do the math for the people in the premium Discord at Eric Lindquist. If you hit me up there, I'm going to have another prop thread for the 9 games that we have going. So covering more props over at Eric Lindquist than on this video, but keep those on your radar. Nice to get a nice little cash with Peyton Pritchard 15-plus on Tuesday. Next up, Toronto 10.5 points that they're getting on a back-to-back as well, taking on the Indiana Pacers. And this is prospective prop plays. For those who don't know, what I love to do is I love to take last 10, last 20 data, not in terms of how they performed there, but what were the lines so I can compare them to the on-off court data so I can do the simulations, the 10,000 simulations, the way that I like to do it. And again, that is projection-based. Market-based is when you're comparing sports books and finding the best odds and using sharp sports books to basically compare your odds and give yourself positive EV plays. That's what Portfolio EV is all about. And one thing that's continually showed up there as an over the course of the last few outings is Miles Turner. And it's been surprising because there's always been a low-hanging piece of fruit that just isn't coming along for the ride. It is typically a BetMGM or Bet365. And it is Miles Turner, 22.5 PRA. I'm adjusting that to 24.5 because I think because of his performances, 1, the usage is way up. Tyrese Halliburton's been struggling. And 2, we've just seen him really healthy for the first time in a long time with this neck injury. I think 24.5 is still too low of a number, but it's not currently available. It's gone from 21.5 to 22.5. I think we see 24.5 against Toronto. That's going to be a lean, but that's not all, folks. Emmanuel quickly. We saw him play a back-to-back last time. I'm not convinced that it shows up here, but I think this is the perfectly efficient total. I think that's a perfectly efficient spread. So just focusing on props for the people here. Scotty Barnes' assist ladder, I think, is in play if you get quickly resting. If not, we're just hitting eject on the entire thing. Miles Turner, 24.5 PRA. That looks pretty intriguing as well. Now we're going to start flying because, well, spread, but just a lean coming up next. I really want to bet this. Philly taking on the Knicks. 9.5. 9.5 is all you're laying at the Garden. But somehow, someway, Tyrese Maxey, Yabusele played about the worst game possible in Philly. They're just in punt mode at this point in time. And that's really what this comes down to. I almost made this a lean but the math really doesn't love this as much as I do from a I know ball perspective. Have this at 8.5. If you end up getting anything kind of like a weird resting situation, I don't think Paul George is going to be sitting going into the Garden, but Karl Anthony Towns has that questionable mark. And that is the only thing that keeps me from betting this. If I knew Karl Anthony Towns was playing and I was only laying 9.5 here, I would be betting it every day of the week and especially once on Wednesday. But I don't know that for sure. I know I'm going to have prop exposure. So we're going to make this a lean for now. Could have made it a lean could have made it a even if this were going to be a thinner card or if it weren't something that I'm just going to run 3 straight plays on you here. But New York, 9.5. Keep it on your radar. Watch that cat news because I think that Q tag carries a little bit more merit considering the massive amount of minutes he's played recently. And yeah, we're coming off the All-Star break, but Washington, they're a completely different team to be breaking down from a simulation standpoint. What do I mean by that? You got not just Marcus Smart, but Chris Middleton starting, playing mid-20s minutes for this team. And it really runs you into the muck to some type of way in terms of props. But Portland, they're 5.5. 5.5 you lay on the Portland side. Played better basketball over the last month. You look at their last 10 data, last 20 data. Their offensive efficiency has gone way up with Denny Avdia at the head of he's been doing everything for this basketball team for the last month or so. The Jewish sensation just finding ways to be successful on a basketball floor. In fact, Scoot Henderson now knocking down shots. And without DeAndre Ayton out there, you don't have a center in Donovan Clingan who's going to be utilizing usage in any capacity, but he just does all of the other things well on a basketball floor. He rebounds well. He goes out of his way to play good defense, just like he did at UConn last season. Overall, Portland is fascinating basketball team. And we're going to bet against them here. Washington plus 5.5. Why is that, my friends? Overall, this is just a much healthier Washington team, top to bottom, getting a lot of pieces into the mix. Alex Sarr, the only questionable piece. We do have Malcolm Brogdon out, would like to have him in, of course, but you have Jalen McDaniels, Jalen Martin, Corey Kispert, Rashawn Holmes, Justin Champagnie, Bub Carrington. This is a much better bench than they've had for pretty much any point in time of the season. And look at the Portland bench. Shaedon Sharpe, decent enough, terrible defender. Scoot Henderson, decent enough, good defender, but awful offensive player. Delano Banton, he's fun when he plays, just never plays. It's just a definite advantage to the Washington rebounding side if you have Holmes out there or Sarr out there. Washington plus 5.5. I have this closer to 2.5, but there's no way I'm locking Washington in any situation. Lindy and friends, look at that. Eitan Shander, Eric Lindquist, if you ain't first, you're last. Look at that. Shake and bake, baby. I got to find a new bit. We got to find a new picture. But here's the thing. It's a beautiful picture because it encapsulates what we're doing over in Tails right now. That is myself and Eitan Shander. We are putting together the goods for you on a day in, day out basis. And Eitan threw some nice bowl goodness out there for the people on a spot start for him for Phoenix today. Awesome stuff overall. I love having my friend Eitan in there because you get 2 for the price of 1. The price does not go up. It will never go up from where it is sitting at its current price point. It is $50 for a month. It is $20 there for a week. But if you use promo code Lindy50 there on the next screen, you've got $10 for your first week, $25 for your first month, tons of happy customers, a couple hundred of them in the old Discord. I would love for you to be one of them as well. So come kick it with a bunch of sharp people in the community. Back to the picks we go. What do we got? 5 games to go? Hit that like button, subscribe button, notification bell. Why wouldn't you? I'm trying to give you the best basketball information I can night before every single time, putting my money where my mouth is, posting the bet tickets for the people. And I don't know how you don't just auto-click this. OKC minus 16.5 at Brooklyn. And my Minnesota Timberwolves shout out the best back-to-back of the entire season. I hate these home road back-to-backs. I think they're ridiculous. However, if you had it be OKC and Minnesota every time, I'm so here for it because those were the two most entertaining basketball games. I watched both of them cover to cover, and you could not have scripted a more ridiculous ending. You have Ant get hurt. He comes back, gets the block in OT. Insane stuff for that come-from-behind victory. Teams were, Infinity and 0? Infinity and 0 would be the right answer. Up against the 20-plus that they're trailing in the fourth quarter going into the end. And OKC is the best team in the West, and yet my Timberwolves found a way to succeed. However, I hope OKC puts their foot on Brooklyn's throat, and it shouldn't be that difficult when you break down the roster on the Brooklyn side. Cam Johnson is questionable. I will repeat, the only functional NBA player for the Brooklyn Nets is questionable because they are flat out looking to punt this game. They're like, well, why would we even play the guy that if we get him hurt from now until the end of the year, we lose any trade stock that we have for him, D'Angelo Russell, come the end of the season, which will certainly be here in a month and a half for the Brooklyn Nets. So I don't think he ends up playing here. Cam Thomas, D'Angelo Russell, Noah Clowney, and Nicholas Claxton, who is suspended and is going to get smashed on the boards anyway against Chet Holmgren and Isaiah Hartenstein. OKC is terrible at rebounding. They've improved that so much just by getting Hartenstein and Chet Holmgren back healthy. It's going to be ridiculous, the amount of they're just going to inflict pain on Brooklyn. I looked at some alt spreads. I might go 20, 25 plus over on FanDuel as well. So that's some nice plus money in those directions where I think we just see OKC put the gauntlet down on Wednesday. Of course, I care more about the math, and the math screams lock. I'm going to make it a like here for today. Atlanta, Miami. We saw this identical matchup in Atlanta, and it was very disappointing, the results, because ended up locking him in the premium Discord. That is Tyler Hero over 6.5 assists. Wouldn't you know it? Bet365, damn good find. Suck it to you one more time. They opened this number at minus 125. I think we're going to get better than that as other books are rolling out their numbers. So not even firing there, but I have a small play on it because I wouldn't post it. I wouldn't make it a like play if I didn't bet it already. That is Tyler Hero over 6.5 assists. Just to let you know, he has a 36% assist rate with Khalil Ware on the floor this season, 29.5% over the entire sample size. It is a massive difference also to get Jimmy Butler off the floor, 35% assist rate for him. Everything screams Tyler Hero. They played a back-to-back. Maybe should have pumped the brakes a little bit more on that play considering tired legs, and he made nothing shooting the ball on that back-to-back against Atlanta. They're still terrible defensively. You still have Khalil Ware and Bam Adebayo. I'm still going to be betting this even more, potentially adding more to the party on Wednesday. Clippers, Chicago, don't have a ton to say about this one. Under 229, it's going to be a lean for me. The Clippers side of things, Kawhi Leonard, Norman Powell, are they actually hurt? Are they not hurt? Are they actually hurt? Are they not hurt? Kawhi's on the freaking injury report, but he's probable, so I assume he's playing. And Norman Powell's going to be out, but again, everything looks insanely efficient. As for Chicago, did see a lot of sharp people that I like bring out Kevin Huerter to the party last time out. A ridiculous run out. Zach Collins should be your starter. Vooch is doubtful, but now props have adjusted. Now numbers have adjusted. Really don't want to party here. Under 229, just a lean. Sacramento -8 at Utah. And again, this one has some prop goodness for us. Sacramento side. Zach LaVine, 42 points, 8 for 9 from 3. What are we even doing here against Charlotte? Made my lock look super, super dumb. Now, locks, people just trolls on the internet. Keep track. How about you actually keep track? Actually post like I do and throw everything out there and let the people know where you stand in terms of locks. 4 of our last 7, not where I want to be, just barely over the 500 meridian. But again, I didn't see Sacramento shooting like 80% from 3 with Zach LaVine out there just chucking, going berserk. Charlotte, Nurkic had a really nice start, didn't hit the double-double at plus 500, and that is agitating because he had a rebound taken away from him at the 6:30 mark of the third quarter. He had 12 and 9, actually, and I think it was 14 and 9 at the 6:30 mark of the third quarter. Comes in to check in at the start of the fourth quarter, plays 3.5 minutes and doesn't get a rebound. That sucked. But We still were barely down a unit there in the premium Discord over the course of Monday's slate. So Tuesday, that's still underway here as of right now. We'll recap that in the premium Discord, covering everything. But I very much feel Isaiah Collier here. Now, he's been a darling of the fantasy community. He's been a darling of the betting community for about a month and a half, 2 months. This is the spot where you buy back in. He ends up having props come down as a result of one subpar outing. And you get Clarkson back into the mix, better offensive option than, I don't know, Bryce Sensabaugh. He's kind of a bucket if we're being honest. Svi Mikhailuk, not very good. And Micah Potter, Kyle Filipowski. Lots of weird stuff overall, but we got Walker Kessler questionable. I would kind of like him to be in purely because those are dink and dunk type assist opportunities for Isaiah Collier. Clarkson, hopefully he can get to the bucket a little bit, but I mean, KJ Martin props, I just basically said, no, I will not do it, even though they were projecting how well. He's playing quite a few minutes. Hopefully you listen to me and understand the like lock system here. Like means we are actually going to play it. Isaiah Collier over 8.5 assists, anything inside of minus 135. That's wild to say even. That is playable for Isaiah Collier. 39% assist rate over the course of the last month and a half. What are we even doing here? And the last game of the night, San Antonio plus 9.5 taking on Houston. My friends. I wouldn't leave you here without some kind of a lean on this one, purely because Houston's in the middle of a dogfight, and Fred VanVleet got ruled out on Tuesday. I thought he would be back playing basketball. Doesn't really matter right now. San Antonio just clamping down on New Orleans. It was 40-28 there with 6 minutes left in the second. That one's on pace for the under. We also have the Suns in Memphis. Yeah, they're still shooting out relative to most games, but still looking good for the under. Milwaukee, Houston still looking good for the under. So those three major plays all looking nice for us. This one, I'm looking at the San Antonio side purely because you have some rest guys that are in play. One, Fred VanVleet, does he even come back? Two, Tari Eason, does he play on a back-to-back? I doubt it. And Jabari Smith, does he play on a back-to-back? I doubt it. I think this is a Cam Whitmore spot if I had to guess, but I don't have the props from that one yet. So San Antonio plus 9.5. If you're looking for one more play on your card, I don't mind this here as I expect Fox to dominate in this spot here against Amin Thompson on the back-to-back, but both of these teams on back-to-back, probably a stay away for now. But if this gets to 10.5, and Houston news then goes against you, or it goes for us, it would be, you could be sitting with a nice ticket. So I'm waiting in the wings here. I'm going to see what else shows up here in the prop market tonight. And then at Eric Lindquist, I'll have a prop thread going for you tomorrow. Would love to see you there. All right, let's get out of here. And that does it for a quick and easy, for 9 games, sub 20 minutes. Let's party. What is this called? Oh, yeah. NBA Lindy's Leans, Likes, and Locks. Head to the comment section below. Let me know your favorite plays that exist on the board for this slate that we have before us. That's really all I got for you today. 9 games, lots of prop interest, lots of spread interest as well. So hopefully a good mix and match for everybody, no matter where you're at, no matter what sports books you have available to you. Thank you, producer Jacob. Until next time, friends, I'm Eric Lindquist. Best of luck in the NBA streets on Wednesday.